Your attitude of gratitude determines your altitude in life. Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Gaeta of the Gaeta Institute for Holistic Health Education. And at this time of year, coming up to Thanksgiving, it's very important to cultivate and remind ourselves to cultivate an attitude of appreciation. It's really true that, and I've seen this very clearly in my life and those around me, that there is no happiness in life in anyone at any time unless there is thankfulness, unless there is a cultivated, if needed, or for some people it's just natural and innate, but a consistent attitude of thankfulness, of appreciation, that is just part of our life. And people who have no gratitude are invariably unhappy. They tend to see themselves as victims. They tend to complain a lot. They tend to pay primary attention to what's wrong or what they think is wrong. And they often feel, as I said, a very strong degree of entitlement. So cultivating gratitude is not just one day a year on Thanksgiving, but is something that we can cultivate and practice and remind ourselves every day and throughout the day. What's right with me in my life? What are the people and things and relationships, certainly the most important, that we are thankful for? Can we be thankful for who we are, for what we have, for the people in our lives? And there's two levels of thankfulness that I want to share with you today. One level is to be thankful for things. In other words, I'm thankful for I have a home, a roof over my head, food to eat, clothes to wear, shoes on my feet, people in my life who love me. Possibly, if it's true for you, meaningful work, which has less to do with the work and more to do with what we bring to the work is what makes it meaningful. But basic things. And I remember I had a new patient come in one day, and she just went on, I said, well, hey, welcome. What brings you here? How can I help? Typically how I'll start with a new patient. And I carefully took pages of notes over the next 15, 20 minutes where she just listed everything that was wrong. And I asked her at the end, I said, thank you for that. Is there anything else? And there was more things wrong, more problems, more issues, more complaints. And these are important to address. That's why she came in. She wanted some help with her health issues, and there were a lot. And then I said, is there anything else? And there was more. And then finally I said, is there anything else? She said, no, I think that's it. I said, now tell me about what's working with you. What's right with you in your life? What's already working and wonderful with you in your life? And this echoes words of a teacher of mine who used to say, what's right with you is the starting point. What's wrong with you is beside the point. And so I asked her this question. I said, so tell me about what's right with you. What are you thankful for? What's working in your life? And and she had this kind of deer in the headlights look at her. She said, and she finally, she didn't say anything. She said, nobody's ever asked me that question. I've seen so many doctors and health professionals. They always ask me what's wrong. Nobody's ever asked me that question. I said, well, it's an important question. And then she thought about it. She said, I don't think there's anything to be thankful for. I don't think there's anything working with me or my life. Look at all these things that we just talked about were wrong. And I said, I honor those things, and I said, well, do you have a roof? I started with the basics. Do you have a roof over your head, food to eat, people who love you? And she said yes to all those things. I said, well, I think you're doing pretty good. And I think you've got a lot working for you. And I'm even going to suggest that there's more working with you than not, that you can appreciate. Even if it doesn't feel that way, just try to appreciate the things you do have. And this is what I call thankfulness for things. And it's a very, very important starting point. There's another level of thankfulness, though, which is a higher evolutionary level of gratitude. which is being thankful in all things. And this is another level, because you can be thankful in all things, even if they're things you're not really thankful for. Maintaining an attitude of thankfulness in all things, even when circumstances and conditions and situations and illnesses and what have you may be like terrible, you can still maintain an attitude. You and I can still maintain an attitude of thankfulness in all things, of appreciation, of gratitude, not for the thing that may be a terrible situation or circumstance, an injury or a death of a loved one or some terrible situation, but you can still maintain an attitude of thankfulness in that situation for the opportunity it provides for you to feel deeply, to support others, and to bring a creative influence into that situation. So, for example, I remember, I broke my foot one time. I was running away from the police. I hopped a fence. No, I'm kidding. But I did hop the fence, but I wasn't running away from the police, as you can probably imagine. But anyway, and I was, it was kind of stinks, because I couldn't, walk or ride my bike or cycle or hike or do things I like to do. And but I still maintain an attitude of thankfulness most of the time. I wasn't completely successful because I was kind of upset about it initially. But finally, I got to a place of being thankful in that situation of the adversity of my fairly painful broken foot, because I wasn't thankful for the broken foot. That's being thankful for a thing. And there are certain things we shouldn't be thankful for, like tragedy and things like that. But I was thankful in the broken foot situation because there was an opportunity for me to slow down, do more reading, do more connecting with people, not running around as much, literally slow down and use the broken foot as a creative opportunity to give nourishment and time and attention to areas in my life that I had neglected. And so I wasn't thankful for the broken foot, but thankful in that situation. I've seen patients do that. I've treated many, many patients with cancer over the years, and it's amazing. Some of them actually have an attitude of gratefulness, of gratitude in that situation. They're not thankful for the cancer, but they're thankful in the cancer experience because it is a catalyst for positive change in themselves. So at this Thanksgiving time, but not just at Thanksgiving time, this is a daily life thing, that we can cultivate an attitude of gratitude, of thankfulness for the things that are wonderful and right with us in our lives, what we have, who is in our lives, who we are, the many blessings. If you're fortunate enough to live in this great country, that's a thing I'm thankful for every day. To live in America is a great privilege and a wonderful thing. But also to go beyond and see if you can cultivate an attitude of thankfulness even in adverse situations, being thankful in all things. So this is an absolutely immutable law. It's non-negotiable. It's an absolute requirement for a happy life. And it brings optimism. It brings positivity. It brings energy and vitality because our orientation is in what is right. And that, that right in us, that is the starting point. Then it's easier for us to find and acknowledge the many gifts and the wonderfulness of people in our lives, and to even take a risk and acknowledge, wow, you're awesome at, I was just talking to my daughter the other day. You're really talented. I love that artwork you just drew. She just did a painting, which is amazing. And it's a beautiful painting of this forest scene. And I said, that's beautiful. You really have a knack for that. And just to provide acknowledgement of what is right in other people, it lifts them up. And it makes us feel good too, because we're honoring our innate human desire to serve and to contribute in a positive way, which is common to all humanity. So remember the importance of gratitude, of thankfulness, of appreciation for all the many blessings in your life, whatever they are, however small or great, and take a stretch, and being thankful in all things takes you to a whole other level of life. I'm Dr. Michael Gaeta of the Gaeta Institute for Holistic Health Education. More ideas like this and many other things at michaelgaeta.com. So I wish you a thankful and blessed Thanksgiving with you and yours, and for every day to be a day of Thanksgiving. Be well.